Hello, welcome back. Today I'm at the Woodland Park Cemetery in Colorado. We're going to be visiting the grave of Josh Maddux, who has a very unusual death, where his body was found in a chimney. So I'm going to tell you about his story as we go look for his grave. Alright, we are in Woodland Park, Colorado, which is about 30 miles west of Colorado Springs. So we're in this beautiful mountain cemetery. We're about 8,500 feet in elevation. So on May 8th, 2008, Joshua or Josh Maddux, 18, left his house to take a walk. He was a nature lover, so this was nothing unusual. However, he was never seen alive again. 7 years later, in August of 2015, less than a mile away from Josh's home, property developer Chuck Murphy was demolishing an old wood cabin to make way for 32 new family homes. The cabin hadn't been used in years, and the inside was damp and rotten. Work to demolish the chimney inside the cabin started, and to the surprise of the demolition team, crammed inside the brickwork was a mummified body, which later was confirmed as Joshua. His body was naked apart from a thin shirt, and his clothes were neatly stacked inside the cabin. Joshua Maddux was born on March 9th, 1990, and lived here in Woodland Park. His parents were divorced, and Josh lived with his father Mike and his two sisters, Kate and Ruth. He had a carefree attitude to life, loved music, spending much of his free time writing music or playing the guitar. At school, he was a bright student and was well liked. 2 years before Josh's disappearance, on June 1st, 2006, a week before his high school graduation, his older brother Zachary, at 18, took his own life after suffering from severe depression. His father, Mike Maddux, said, "I buried his older brother 2 years before, and it was so difficult on Josh. When his brother died, it pushed him over the edge. It was a big shock for the family and a big shock for Josh. He thought highly of his older brother. Despite this, Josh had been doing well and was happy in the period around 2008. On May 8th, 2008, Josh left the house, telling his sister Kate that he was going out for a walk. He often went out hiking alone, so when his sister saw him at the house before he left, she thought little of it. But when he failed to return later that evening, the family had become worried. On May 13th, 5 days later after he disappeared, his father Mike called the police to report him missing. In 2015, Chuck Murphy, a builder from Colorado Springs, was demolishing his old wood cabin on Meadowlark Lane, which is in a large area of land surrounded by tall pines. There's a car coming. All right. Animals had been a problem, and there was a noticeable smell when Chuck came to the cabin on August 7th. As workers dismantled the chimney, Chuck made the horrific discovery of the body of a young man, crammed into a fetal position with his legs above his head. He called the police, who arrived with a county coroner who later, with the help of dental records, positively identified the body to be that of the missing man, Josh Maddux. That's a cool headstone. The cabin was only 2 blocks from the Maddux family home. Yet the searches for Josh had overlooked the building. There had not been any sign of life, and there was no reason to check a chimney there. Chuck Murphy, the cabin owner himself, had rarely visited. However, on the occasions that he had to check in, he himself had not noticed anything unusual about the property. When they did an autopsy and found no evidence of any drugs in Josh's remains, there are no broken bones, no knife marks, no bullet holes, no signs of trauma. It was very confusing, and it was not an instant death. On September 28th, 2015, a ruling was made of an accidental death. It was speculated that Josh had climbed into the chimney and become stuck in the brickwork. Josh's position in the chimney appeared to have been a voluntary act in order to gain access. The most likely cause of death was hypothermia, as the temperature around the time of his disappearance, between May 8th and 10th of 2008, had dropped to the high 20s. Many locals had issues with the coroner's report, including the family. Chuck questioned the coroner's conclusion of accidental death, as the chimney had been built 20 years before its construction. It had been fitted with a thick wire mesh hung from steel hooks used to keep animals and debris from becoming lodged inside the chimney or from entering the cabin itself. And Josh's body had also been found in a fetal position, with his legs above his head and disjointed from his torso. In order to have gotten into such a position, he would have had to enter the chimney head first. This was a fairly unusual position, and thought it would have taken two people to position him in such a way. What was even stranger was that when Josh's body had been found, he was wearing only a thin thermal shirt, and his clothes had actually been found inside the cabin, folded up neatly next to the fireplace. Make sure I don't want to step on any here. I'll go around. It's beautiful here. So we don't know why he took his clothes off, took his shoes and socks off, and why he went outside, climbed on the roof, and went down the chimney. The revised autopsy report said that the cause of death was an accidental death, murder, or undetermined causes. The police received several anonymous tip-offs suggesting leads and naming suspects that had bragged of killing Josh, but nobody was ever convicted. So we're coming up to his grave here. Joshua Vernon Maddux, March 9th, 1990 to May 2008. Blessed are the pure at heart, for they shall see God. Jesus. And there's an angel, and he's right next to his brother here. The one that took his own life. Zachary Maddux. April 26, 1988 to June 1st, 2006. Beloved son, brother, uncle, and friend. We'll meet you again someday. There's a few pictures of his brother here. Yeah, it's just very sad and unusual. It looks like he has maybe the original marker back here. And there's a cross. Lots of angels. Looks like there's a little car. Something on the back. It looks like someone going up the stairs. It says Maddux. His brother also has some stuff back here too. Yeah, I think what really makes his death unusual to me is the part that his clothes were off and just like folded neatly by the chimney. And I don't know why he would do that before trying to get into the chimney. So a lot of people have theories that if he was hypothermic, you know, sometimes it makes you not think too clearly. But either way, just very unusual. A lot of theories out there also that he was murdered. And there's his picture once again. So I don't know, let me know in the comments below what you think happened. Rest in peace, Josh. Hope you enjoyed that video and getting to see the grave of Josh Maddux. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I'll see you at the next grave. Thanks.